Can you hear me well? Okay. I want to tell you the 5 things you should do to... Sorry. Can you hear me? Okay. I want to tell you the 5 things you should do to improve how you present yourself in an interview and how you go from this to this. How you present yourself in a remote interview is giving away a lot of information and leaves a first impression on the interviewers. And the best? Presenting yourself in the best way is one of the easiest things you can do while preparing for your interviews and has a huge impact. Will a good presentation get you the job immediately? No, probably not. But I think whatever you can get going for you, you should get going for you, and especially if it's so easy. Let's start from the beginning, from this setup, and as you see, it looks quite horrible. Bad light, bad camera, and I'm not even looking at you. And as you saw in the beginning, terrible internet. You would be shocked to see how many people never thought about this and are joining the interviews with such a bad setup. The good thing is, you can easily get ahead of all of them with the changes I will show you now. The first thing we can do to improve this massively is to actually look at the camera. It is really important that you look into the direction where the camera is. Of course, in your interview you will not directly look at the camera, but at your screen somewhere below. But you should always look in the direction of the camera so that it feels for the interviewer as if you're looking at them. If you look at this side, like I did in the beginning to look at my monitor, it will feel very disconnected and uncomfortable. Just not very social. The next thing we can fix is the camera angle. It is important that you put the camera somewhere on your eye level. You should not be looking down on the interviewer as if you're much taller and more dominant than them. It's also very bad to look up to your interviewer as if you're a child looking up to their parents. So just put the camera on eye level to show that you are equal with them. Next to the camera angle, I would also recommend that you move the camera to the middle of the table so that it looks like you're sitting across the table from the interviewer. If you don't have a fancy laptop stand, you can just use a few books to elevate your laptop to be on eye level. Looking straight at the camera will also give you a more relaxed and confident body position. Okay, let's now talk about the actual camera. Which one should you use? And it's obvious, just use the best one you have. If you have a modern laptop, the camera in your laptop is often good enough. But if you want to look at your second monitor like I did in the beginning, I highly encourage you to get one of those USB webcams so that you can still look at the interviewer. When you're setting up your camera, make sure that it doesn't focus on something in the background, but focuses on your face so that you're clearly visible to the interviewer. Another thing I would recommend is not to use any of the background blurs Zoom or Google Meet offers. It seems tempting to hide all the mess in your background, but they just don't work that well. Sometimes they blur parts of your face, or when you're explaining something, they even blur your hands. It also somehow creates a feeling of privacy and that you don't trust the interviewer to see your environment. So if you want to create more trust, just finally clean up the mess and show the room you're in. This will also create a much more personal and authentic feeling in the interview. Now that you fixed the camera and the camera angle, let's talk about light. Light is the most important thing, and it enables your camera to capture your facial expressions in full detail. The first thing you should do is think about where the light in your room is coming from. Don't sit with the back to a light source. If you sit in a darker room like I do now, where you don't have a window that shines natural light in your face, you need to put up a light. But you don't need any expensive studio lamps. Just find a random lamp in your house and put it in front of you, like this one. Once you have your light and turn it on, make sure that it doesn't shine directly into your face. This will create a very harsh light on your face and you can't see anything anymore. Just turn it around so that it reflects off of the wall and illuminates your face evenly. Okay, with the camera and light fixed, let's now talk about audio. That the interviewer is able to hear you clearly is even more important that they can see you well. First, find a place in your house where it's quiet and you don't get interrupted easily. Same with the camera, just use the best microphone you can find. But here, the choice might not be that obvious. What I'm using in this video until now are those cheap €20 earphones from Amazon, and they sound already quite good, right? The counterintuitive part is that more expensive microphones don't necessarily sound better. This, for example, is how my AirPods Pro sound, and even though they are much more expensive, they don't sound much better than the €20 wired earphones. And this is how my Bose noise-canceling headphones sound. And even though listening to music on them is amazing, the microphone sounds quite terrible. This is partly because both the AirPods Pro and the Bose headphones need to transmit their data via Bluetooth, and that makes the quality much worse. So I would highly recommend to use a wired headphone. If you don't already have one, I found those really cheap lavalier microphones from Amazon, and they have an amazing audio quality. You can just clip them to your shirt and have an amazing audio quality with no additional effort. And the last technical advice I want to give you is use stable internet. You can of course use your Wi-Fi, but make sure that you have a stable connection and it doesn't break up during your interview. Otherwise, just use an Ethernet cable. I know, you might have not seen one in a while, but you can still connect them to your laptop on your router and have a much more stable connection. Connection issues will not immediately cost you the job, but the interview is already stressful enough and you don't want to fix your internet during your interview. I lived in Germany and I know what bad internet is. But if you cannot rely on your cable internet, just use your phone's internet for the interview. Try to set up everything so that you don't even have to think about it during your interview. Now that we have fixed the camera, the light, the audio, and have stable internet, let's talk about the last thing. What should you wear to your interview? The most important thing is that you feel comfortable in what you're wearing. But if you ask yourself what you should wear during your interview, an easy rule of thumb is to dress a bit above what you usually wear. I know most companies don't have a dress code anymore and say that they don't care what you wear during your interview. But that doesn't mean that you can't take it seriously and put a little bit of effort into it and present yourself in the best way. Putting on a bit nicer clothes also puts you in the right mindset and shows the interviewer that you take this opportunity seriously. Do you have to put on a suit and a tie and look like you're interviewing at a bank? No. But if you usually wear a t-shirt from the day before, putting on a nice iron shirt will also signal to you that you take this opportunity seriously. Yes, this is much more important in an on-site interview, but it also matters in a remote interview. And now comparing it to the beginning of the video, you already look much better, and it only took 10 to 15 minutes to do all the changes. Investing a little bit of time into how you present yourself during the interview will prepare you to take the interview as serious as you should take it. You might also have some tips and tricks you can share with others, and I would love to read them in the comments below this video. This is the last video in my interview preparation series, and I hope that all the videos I created help you to get your dream job. If you do, I would love to celebrate with you, so write it in the comments below or connect with me on LinkedIn. Thanks for watching. It was a lot of fun to create all those videos, and see you in the next one.